Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on the kitchen. We've looked at a bunch of sources to pull together an essential kitchen appliances checklist.
Yeah, the goal here is to cut through all the noise, figure out what really makes a kitchen functional, modern. We're going beyond just the absolute basics. What are the high-impact items you really need? Okay, let's unpack this.
Exactly. And that idea of impact or investment is key, especially for you listening. Trying to figure out where to put your money for the best long-term value. Think of this less like a shopping list, more like a blueprint for kitchen efficiency. Our sources really help identify those big foundational pieces, but also the things that just make life easier.
Yeah,
So where do we start?
the foundation, right? The big utility players.
Right, let's dive straight in. Foundational pieces first. And you can't talk kitchen foundations without starting with, well, the refrigerator. Everyone agrees it's the heart of every kitchen.
It really is. Physically, it's often the biggest thing in there, and financially, yeah, it's usually that first major purchase you make.
And there are so many types now, side by side, French door.
True, those are popular. But, the sources really push looking at energy standards first. For long-term savings, sometimes a bottom-mount freezer actually performs better, efficiency-wise.
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
Well, think about it. You open the fridge part way more often than the freezer, right? So putting the fridge at eye level and chest height is more ergonomic, sure, but keeping the less open freezer section consolidated might save energy. It's a trade-off.
Efficiency and ergonomics over just pure aesthetics. That's a solid insight. But what about all the smart features? Touch screens, cameras inside. Are those essential now?
Essential is maybe still a strong word for some, but they're definitely becoming key for future proofing. What the sources do highlight as valuable are things like convertible zones.
Verbal zones.
Yeah, where you can switch a freezer compartment to act as extra fridge space or maybe a chiller drawer. That kind of flexibility, depending on your shopping or entertaining habits, that adds real value beyond just, a fancy screen.
Okay, got it. So flexibility is the key smart feature there. All right, food stored. Now we need to cook it. The oven and range cooker. If you're serious about cooking.
You need a reliable workhorse.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is where home cooking gets serious. And the sources suggest really thinking about how you cook. If you go for gas,
Yeah.
you want power. Look for at least one burner that's, say, over 18,000 BTUs. That gives you the heat for proper searing, woke cooking, that kind of thing.
Okay, high BTUs for gas. But if you prefer electric, is induction the way to go now? Seems like everyone talks about induction.
It pretty much is, yeah.
Yeah.
For speed and control, it's fantastic. And it's incredibly energy efficient, only heats the pan, not the whole cooktop or the air around it.
Sounds perfect.
Well, here's the catch the sources always point out.
Yeah.
You need magnetic cookware. If your current pots and pans aren't compatible, you have to factor in the cost of replacing them. Otherwise, that efficiency benefit is kind of lost.
Ah, right. That's a big consideration. Okay, so a major trade-off there. Let's shift gears from making the food to cleaning up the mess. The dishwasher. I mean, nobody loves doing dishes.
Yeah, true. And the dishwasher is a double win. Saves you time, obviously. And this surprises people. Good energy-efficient models often use less water than washing the same load by hand.
Really? Less water.
Yeah, the data supports it pretty clearly. Plus, it keeps the kitchen looking tidier, no stacks of plates by the sink. But there's another factor, especially now.
What's that?
Noise. With open-plan living spaces being so common, how loud the dishwasher is becomes a huge deal. You don't want it drowning out conversations or the TV.
Good point. So what should you look for?
The sources say aim for under 45 decibels. That's generally considered whisper quiet. If you ignore the decibel rating, you might end up with an appliance that cleans well, but annoys you every time it runs. Convenience turns into irritation.
Under 45 decibels. Got it.
Yeah.
Smart advice. Okay, let's move on to the appliances that help with the daily grind, where speed really matters. And speaking of speed, the microwave. Maybe not the most glamorous appliance, but pretty essential for quick heating on busy days, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's the kitchen's utility player.
Yeah.
Reheating, defrosting, maybe steaming some veggies quickly. But even here, there's tech to look for.
Like what?
Our sources mention inverter technology. Instead of just blasting power on and off, it delivers a constant, steady stream of power at different levels.
Okay, and what does that actually do?
It heats much more evenly. You avoid that classic microwave issue, burnt edges, cold center. Makes it way better for actually cooking things, not just reheating leftovers.
Ah, okay, more even heating. Nice. Next up, something people often forget about until it's too late. The range hood or chimney, kind of a hidden essential if you cook a lot.
Totally. It's a
Yeah.
quality of life thing. A good, powerful range hood pulls out smoke cooking smells, grease particles. It saves your nose, but also your cabinets and paintwork over time.
So how do you know if it's powerful enough?
There's a key metric, CFM, cubic feet per minute. It measures airflow. You need to match the hood's CFM rating to the heat output, the total BTUs of your cooktop.
Match the CFM to the BTUs.
Exactly, especially if you have a high-output gas range. You likely need a high CFM hood, and critically, it must be ducted to the outside. Those smaller recirculating ones, they just filter a bit and blow the air back into the kitchen. It doesn't really remove the problem.
That difference, ducted versus recirculating and tying it to CFM and BTUs, that's the kind of detail people need.
It really is. It's the difference between an appliance that actually works and one that just, well, takes up space. You need that power to vent things properly.
Keeps the home smelling fresh. Makes sense. Now, for probably millions of us, the day can't even begin without this next one. The coffee maker or espresso machine. Definitely essential for the caffeine fix.
Oh yeah, having good coffee ready the moment you want it at home. Priceless for coffee lovers. And the options are huge now.
From basic drip machines to
fancy, high-end automatic espresso machines. What's interesting is the trend towards machines that have a built-in grinder, that focus on fresh beans, plus precise temperature and pressure. It gives you that cafe quality without all the manual fuss.
built-in grinder for freshness. Good tip.
Okay, before we get to the more specialized stuff, there's one appliance that shows up in our sources, but with a big asterisk. The washing machine. Only relevant if placed in kitchen.
Right. And this is a reality for a lot of people, maybe in smaller city apartments or older houses without dedicated laundry rooms. If your washer has to live in the kitchen,
Then what?
then two things become paramount. Size, obviously, but even more importantly, silence.
Yeah, I can imagine. You don't want a spin cycle shaking the whole kitchen during dinner.
Exactly. You need to look for machines specifically designed with noise-dampening features, anti-vibration systems. Often, these are compact or stackable units designed to be fully integrated, hidden behind cabinet doors. They need to blend in visually and audibly. So, specialized tech for a specific situation. Got it. That wraps up the daily workhorses. Now, let's get into segment 3. Specialization, consolidation, and smart tech. Thinking about maximizing space and maybe adding some high-tech help. We started with the fridge, let's revisit storage, but this time for the serious planners, the chest freezer or deep freezer. For bulk buying, meal prepping.
Yeah, this is purely about extra capacity and often economics. Storing bulk meats, frozen veggies, big batches of cooked meals. The sources point out an interesting trade-off here.
Which is?
Chest freezers. The ones where the lid lifts up tend to be a bit more energy efficient. Why? Because cold air is heavy. Less of it spills out when you open the top compared to an upright freezer door.
Ah, physics. Makes sense.
Upright freezers are way easier to organize. Shelves, drawers, you can find things quickly. So our sources say they're especially useful for large families dealing with lots of different items coming and going. It's efficiency versus easy access.
Another trade-off to weigh. Okay, now for something smaller but mighty. The blender and food processor combo. Not physically huge, but definitely a big helper, as one source put it.
This is all about consolidation, right? Why have two separate appliances taking up counter space if one can do both jobs well? Smoothies, soups, chopping veggies, grinding nuts, even kneading dough in some models.
So one machine, many tasks. What's the key thing to look for if you want one that actually does all those things well?
Power. Look at the wattage. If you want it to crush ice effectively, or handle thick doughs, or really pulverize nuts and seeds, you need a motor with some muscle. Think 1,000 watts or more, generally. Otherwise, you risk burnout on tougher jobs.
Wattage is key for versatility. Got it. And finally, let's talk tech integration. This is where things are really changing, especially in new builds or major kitchen renos. Here's where it gets really interesting. Smart kitchen hubs, or these appliance combos. What are we talking about here? What capabilities make them essential in a modern context?
It's moving beyond just remote control, like turning your oven on from the car.
Yeah.
We're seeing things like combination appliances, maybe a microwave that also works as a high-speed convection oven. That saves a ton of space.
Okay, space saving through combos. What about the hub part?
The hub is like the brain. The really advanced ones integrate things like inventory management. You could scan groceries as you put them away, or link online orders.
Wow, so it knows what food you have.
Yeah, and then it can suggest recipes based on what's on hand, maybe help build a shopping list for what's missing. It connects the appliances and the food itself. Some can even monitor appliance performance.
So it's less about just flashy controls and more about managing the whole kitchen ecosystem.
Exactly that. It becomes a resource management center. And another thing the source has highlighted is remote diagnostics.
Yeah.
If your smart fridge or dishwasher flags an error,
Yeah.
the system might be able to tell you what's wrong, maybe even run some checks before you even call a repair person. It fits that whole theme of efficiency, saving time, saving hassle, minimizing downtime.
That's pretty cool. Okay, running through that whole list. Wow. It's a mix of the absolute must-haves, like the fridge, and these really specialized tech-forward solutions, from raw cooking power to whisper quiet cleanup. So what does this all mean? What's the big takeaway for someone listening right now, maybe planning a kitchen update?
I think the big picture is that the idea of an essential kitchen has evolved.
Mm.
It's not just about having a fridge and oven. The checklist we've gone through shows a heavy focus on, well, really three things.
Okay.
One, energy efficiency. It came up again and again: fridges, dishwashers, induction cooktops. Two, multi-purpose functionality. Think that blender processor combo or the microwave convection oven, doing more with less space. And three, smart integration, but integration that offers real benefits like efficiency, diagnostics, or better resource management.
Efficiency, multifunctionality, and smart integration.
Right. Modern essentials are about making life easier, yes, but also doing it smarter and more resource consciously. It's about optimizing the whole system. And that leads to a really interesting thought to leave you with. Considering this strong push towards saving time and energy, consolidating functions, using connectivity, how will the next generation of essential kitchens take automation even further? If today's essentials automate cleanup and optimize cooking, what other daily kitchen chores, maybe automatic grocery restocking or even elements of meal prep itself, might future essential tech aim to handle for us? What's the next frontier of kitchen automation?